Okay, here we go. This is exciting. I love going live and I love showing all of the Neuland goodies that I ordered. And I'm going to show some of these. I did a partial unboxing and then realized, oh, I should probably show people what I've got here. And it's kind of special because, I'm kind of working with supplies that are brand new to me. And what I mean by that is I have a lot of these in my studio at home, but since I've moved and pared down, it's like, oh, I get all new supplies. So I've ordered these from Inky Thinking in the UK. Thank you, Tom and Esther, so much. And I just want to shout out a couple of my favorite products that I like to use over and over again. And then they do such a beautiful job of putting everything in little bags. And I love that, especially the way they seal them off because then the caps don't pop off. And so I'm going to show you what I ordered, and I'm going to tell you why I ordered them, and show you just some of my favorite products. So let's do that. Let me switch over so you can see my hands here. Let's hope it works. Yay, it did. All right. So I love that they have their own custom tape. And I have this crumply piece of paper behind me here in case I open something up and we want to try it out. I'll show you what I do with these supplies. And yeah, paper is at a premium here. So this was the packing paper that came in the package. So I was excited to get that because I can always reuse it. Oh, look at what they sent me. Excellent. So one of their clients and many of my students have been asking how to use and fill the fat one and how to open it. And so I'm just going to really quickly show you to get the top off so that you can use it. You pop the two sides in like this and just pops open. And then you want to make sure that once you have your ink in it, that you press on a horizontal position, not a vertical position, because the ink is going to flow through and flow down if you do it um, when you do that. So you want to make sure that you get this nice and saturated. But anyway, this is a this is a graffiti tool. And so the biggest tip I'm going to show you as far as how to open it is this is not the regular type of thread that goes righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Okay. So you're actually going to rotate it right to get the top off. Now, I'm going to share in another video very specifically how to take this top off so that you can get it back on and you don't have any troubles with it. There is a tip in here. There's several tips that I'm going to share in the upcoming video, but there's a tip in here. This is really, really important. I've seen people have some major issues because they don't do it the right way. Now, the other thing is never crank the top of this. Always use your fingers along this threaded part because I've also seen, because this is a little bit thinner here, that people can crank on this, especially if they're trying to open it. They'll crank on it the wrong way and this can crack. Okay, so that's the fat one. And it comes in I believe, a 30 millimeter and a 50 millimeter. And this is the really fat one. This is the 50 millimeter. Now I'm going to need these pins because I've ordered some pin board paper. And we've got pin boards here on the island that I found, and we want to make some really big posters. And so I'm going to need some pins for that. So these are really excellent pins. I love them. They used to come in clear too, and I think they come in color, but gray is great because that's actually the color of my pin board. Right. So stick around and I'll make a video probably sometime today or this week about how to fill the fat one and specifically how to open it, what to do with that little pumping system in there. I'll even talk about the marble, why it doesn't need to be in there. And so check out that video when it comes out. All right, here we go. More supplies. Now, I did make an unboxing. You can check it out. I made an unboxing about a week ago, and I was going through some of the first supplies that I got here. And I was thinking about, doing some metallic and cover. And so, oh, yes, here we go. Here's some more metallic and cover. I originally ordered the big one art markers because, well, let's just let's just say those are my favorite. And I ordered those in some metallic and cover because they work really great on windows. And then I was thinking, well, I'm going to go to a Christmas fair later this week, and I might need some things to make some cards. So I wanted some metallic um, fine ones so that I can write really small. So it's a huge difference between the fine one and the big one art. I can go really big with this and really tiny with this. So I wanted to make sure that I had everything that I needed. And like I said, the covers, which is the white ink, they work beautifully on windows. So if you want to put snowflakes on windows, probably be doing a video about that here in the coming months. So check that out. Now, what's with all these empty Neuland twin ones? Well, I love to fill them with those metallic and covers. And so I've got the refill ink, cover, metallic silver, metallic green, and metallic blue. These are my three favorite colors to work in the metallics. I just find that I use them the most. All of the colors are really great. And what I love about the twin one is that it comes with a brush, and it's a medium-sized brush. Neuland actually has 5 different brush nibs, and then the chisel. And I call this a chisel, not a wedge. Now, the number one and the big one, I consider those wedges, but this is more of a chisel because it has more of a fine point. A couple of other things you'll notice on the twin one, it'll tell you which side is the chisel, which side is the brush. But because I use the brush, I don't know if I probably use it more frequently. But in order for me to tell the difference, using, my tactical way instead of looking, I always, and it comes from the factory this way, I always keep the side that has the clip. So there's 2 caps, cap this way and a cap this way, but the cap with the clip, I keep that on the brush side. And for those of you who want to know how to fill the twin one, well, each side comes apart and you can fill it from either side. And for those of you that say, well, what if you want something different than a chisel or a brush? They make these little converters that go on here, and you can put in a round nib there, and it's really a cool round nib. It's not like all of the other round nibs. It's pointed, so it's very interesting. And there's also a half chisel, which is gorgeous for italic and calligraphy work. Okay, got another bag here. Thank you, Esther and Tom, for doing such a beautiful job packaging. I feel like I'm getting gifts here on the island. Let's see what we've got in this one. Now, in the last package, they sent me a little note and some goodies, so just ignore that. They don't send that to everybody. Yay, more twin ones. So I love the twin one outliner. It's my absolute favorite to graphic record with when I'm doing what I call the content level. So I have a very specific hierarchy, lettering hierarchy formula that I go by, and this is excellent also with the graphic novelist, which is why I ordered a bunch of blues and blacks. And this should be enough for the students here on the island. We have a small school, and I want to teach them how to write like a graphic novelist because I think it would be super fun. So as soon as my handouts come in, I shipped them 3 weeks ago from the United States. No, 4 weeks ago. I shipped 4 weeks ago. I shipped my handouts, and they still haven't gotten here. And I shipped a package the same day, and it got here. Okay, so. And again, these the Neuland twin ones come in a variety of colors. That one's a brush. That one's the chisel. And if you're wondering what is graphic novelist, well, I'll go ahead and do a quick demonstration. For those of you who want to take my online course, you can go to letslettertogether.com. The first thing you're going to learn is architect. And the reason being is because you need to learn this lettering style to be able to write like a graphic novelist, because it's the same form, but it's with the chisel, and it has a very specific technique to get that look. And I'm not going to show that to you now. You'll have to take the class. So there's the cliffhanger. Now, with all of those, the beautiful metallics and cover inks that I just purchased, I'm going to need some paper to put them on. And I already have my 4-2 sketch, which is one of my very favorite sketchbooks. And I already have the Black Space, which is also a great sketchbook. But I thought if I just wanted some regular paper, this is the black notepad, which the paper is nice and thick. The ink isn't going to run through it all. Um, but I like this if I need to just do some practice work or if I want to make a quick note or a quick letter. And then I also noticed I don't have any other, I told you before, I don't have a lot of paper on the island. So this is my notepad. It's actually not mine. You can buy them too. But the my notepad is a beautiful A4 size, just paper pad, and it does have holes in it if you want to put it in a binder. But what I love about it is its grid. So I don't know if you can see it here. Let me see if I can zoom way in. And I don't know if that helps to see all these little dots. They're great for layout. So I love doing compositional layout, just making notes, whatever I need. So I love my notepad. It's another one of my favorite products by Neuland. So I wanted to make sure I had all of those. They also sent me some stickers. Yay. Thank you so much. I love them. Um, and then of course the thing that I designed when I was in Washington, D.C., working on the Visioneering team, I needed a way to draw circles really fast. And I wanted my circles to look perfect because they're hard to draw on the fly. And what I really wanted was to be able to write the perfect Venn diagram. So we're going to open up these orbits. This is something that my husband Ray and I designed together. He helped me test it, and then he printed probably hundreds of these, laser cut them for me. And then once I took them to Europe, I think I did a lettering tour one time where I ordered 300 of these, and I and I and I sold them all while I was on the road. It was like the biggest thing, and it was the biggest pain in the patootie. And so once I got to Neuland headquarters, Guido and I talked about it, and he said, "Okay, we'll print them for you." And what I love about this is, first of all, I don't know if you can really see it on this video, but this is a neon orange. And I know that it looks obnoxious, but I have to tell you that it's great when you're working in low lighting situations because just the slightest light, you'll see just the orange on the edge and you'll be able to find this tool very easily. I printed these in clear, I printed these in all different colors, but this particular color is the best. Now, it does come with some instructions showing you the parts and then showing how to draw it, which they've done such a beautiful job of showing that. I love it. It's like seeing the instructions that I gave them in a video, but turned into IKEA instructions. I feel like I want to frame this. It's just beautiful. I mean, I already know this side, that's the parts, but yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out how to get this in a frame. It's gorgeous. Oh, thank you, Neuland. So yes, I'm on their design team. I like to give them feedback on different products. They let me beta test some things, and this was this was my little my little joy here. So this unscrews. This graphic novelist in the background is kind of driving me crazy. Let's flip this over so that we can actually draw with this. Okay. So sorry about the glare there. It is a shiny object. Love a shiny object. So the improvement that Neuland made on this, because all I created were these 5 little orbits with all of these symbols on them, which I'm going to show you what they mean. But Neuland said, this is great and everything, but we need a way to carry it. So they came up with this carrying stick, and it's great because it's got a handle on it. And then this piece that puts it all together along with the screw is a ruler. And honestly, I don't use rulers that often because numbers scare me in this way, but it is handy when I do need one. And it's a straight edge, which is awesome because sometimes we don't have a straight edge in our kits when we're graphic recording. And they're all nestled in together. I love that they even cut out the little tiny one. This little tiny one doesn't have the symbols on it, but it does have the 12 lines so that if you ever needed a clock face, you can have that as a guide. But this is excellent for sketchnoting. So make sure that you've got that in there because it keeps them all together It's like the thing that keeps it all together. However, it is excellent for sketchnoting. So definitely keep that for your sketchnoting. These other four sizes are excellent for um, graphic recording, flip charts. I tend to use these two biggest ones the most when I'm working on wall charts, and I use these two when I'm working on flip charts. And it looks like it's probably going to be best if I use the smallest one just for demonstration today. Wow, this really glows. I love that. And again, it's really easy to see if you're working in low lighting situations. And for those of you that are graphic recorders working in conferences, this can really come in handy. So I'm going to use the Find One outliner today just to show you how this works. And oh, I hope I remember because I know I designed this, but I designed this, wow, over 11 years ago. Okay, so you're going to start out. If I know that I want to make a Venn diagram and I'm thinking this is the top and then I'll put one over here and one over here, I'm going to start here and it doesn't matter where any of these things are landing. I'm just going to go ahead and draw the circle. And I'm going to wait a little bit. I might even blow on it just to make sure that I don't smear this. Now, if you do get a little bit of this ink on the side here, you can wipe it off right away. I don't have anything here to wipe it off with. Or you can just take a little bit of alcohol, like a little alcohol wipe, and wipe that off. It's really easy to clean up. Now, you've got two different symbols here. Well, you've got two different shape symbols, and then you have two versions of it. First, you've got a shape that looks like sort of like an eyeball or a slit, and then you've got one that's a triangle. Now you've got one that's just single and it's smaller, and double and it's bigger. And so do you want to make a small Venn diagram where, and we'll just show you what that looks like, or do you want to make a big Venn diagram? I'll show you what that looks like. Okay. Let's hope they kept everything the same here. So what I'm doing here is see this little arrow? See that little arrow in the very end? There's an arrow on each side. I'm pointing that arrow towards the center of my circle, and I'm lining up these little slit marks, and there's a little dotted line there. And I'm going to start where I've already drawn a line so that I don't have a little crossover. It meets up nicely there. And then when I go to do this one, if I line it up, it's like, okay, but where does it go? So now I actually use this line to line it up. So do you see there's a couple of little dotted lines there? That's going to line it up. And then you'll also see that this line and this line up too. Let's make sure that looks good. Again, you're going to start where you've already drawn a line, and hopefully you can keep going and not have to lift your pen. And so that is a Venn diagram that is smaller on the insides. So you've got plenty of room to write in here or point to things if you want to. And then we're going to do the other side. Oops. I don't know why, but my screen just went black. Huh. There we go. So strange. Sorry about that. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Okay, now we'll do the other side and then we'll compare them so that you can see. Again, I'm going to start here. Again, it doesn't matter which way it's pointed when it first starts. And then, oops, we'll just put a little dot in there. I love a good implied line. All right, now we're using the side that has the double and the bigger space in between. And we're going to go here. Let's make sure that I've got this pointed towards the center and that these are lined up. I'm drawing where I first started to draw so that I don't have any little hiccups. It's pretty seamless that way. And then again, I'm going to point this towards the middle of this area. And that's starting to line up. And then to get it just right, it's going to line up over here. So here, here, and here. All these little dotted lines are here for your convenience. And this, and I had to pause there, but this is how you draw the perfect Venn diagram. So you can see you want more space out here to write in, or do you want more space in here to write in that this area is more equal? And this works with all the different sizes. And for those of you that are wanting to make a really big circle, maybe you don't want to make a really big diagram. Maybe you, or a Venn diagram, maybe you just want to write a really big circle. So I'll put that again so you can see this. What I will normally do is I'll take my largest one. Say I want to make a really, really big circle on a big piece of paper. I'll take my largest one and then sometimes my second to my largest one, depending on how big of a circle I want, but I'll demonstrate with this one. I'm going to come off the page a little bit. So what I'll do is I will actually take a pencil, always a black one, and I will decide where I want my circle on my page, and I will lightly draw my circle. And then where we have these little hash marks like this, I'll make these little lines. Now, that's not as important. You can do it without it, but I like to do that. And what I'll do is I'll line up these lines here and I'll go like this. And I'll line up this line, go like this, line up this line, I'll go like this. Because we know what a circle is just a series of arches. And when we get out this big, I want to be able to use, if I'm a right-hander, I'm going to go this way. If I'm a left-hander, I'm going to go this way. And I'm using my elbow and my wrist as sort of as a guide. Realize I just drew off the page. And I'm going to draw in the air for a little bit. And I'm going to go just two of these. I'll go two, and then I'll rotate and rotate because it's harder to draw this way, right? So I'm ambidextrous, so it's pretty easy for me to do this. And so it's easier to pull my lines than push my lines as a lefty. And once I have that just sort of drawn in, then I can go back in with my marker and make a much bigger circle. And it may not be perfect, but it's a lot better than if I just drew it by hand. So there you have it. What questions do you have for me? Put them in the comments. I'll get a little notification and answer them for you. Just a couple of things that I'd love you to check out is my orbits. Please go on the website, check them out. I also created a series of what's called hexets, and they're hexagons, because if you've ever tried to draw a hexagon on the fly, those can be a challenge too. And so I did design a series of hexets as well. Love them. I just didn't need them for this particular trip. But the orbits are a great investment. I know those of you out there that say, oh, I can just use a plate. Well, yeah, you could, but they're heavier and it's kind of hard to find a plate last minute if you're on a job. And these carry really nicely. They're very flat. I do keep them in the box that they came in, or I might wrap them with bubble wrap before I put them in my kit because they can crack. These aren't invincible, but the orbits, they're made out of a plexiglass, so it's possible that they can crack. But I just try to care for them as long as I can. And I've had some of my orbits now for 12 years that I made myself, but it was the exact same material. So yeah, check it out. And if you want, go to my website, letslettertogether.com. You'll see there, I have my ambassador code so that you can get 15% off if you order directly from Neuland. But if you're in the UK, please order from Inky Thinking. And if you're in the US, we have a new reseller, SketchCrafters. So I'll go back. Thanks for joining me. Put any questions that you have about Neuland products, lettering, graphic recording, graphic facilitation in the chat, or visit me